Welcome to a Prior Park Digital tutorial. In today's session, we will be running through an example of how a digital class can be run. Please note that this is an example only and has an array of techniques that are used by various different teachers. This should be a guide on one approach of using Teams for classes, but it is not the only approach possible. For this session, I have set up a demonstration class with a test student's account. Let's start with the post section. The post section allows you to post information, assignments, and achievements which appear in a news-like feed. Any work you set the students will automatically be posted here, and the students can access the assignments directly from here. One good feature of this section is the student's ability to reply to an assignment set. You can use this as a method of grouping questions together for each assignment. For example, this student has asked a question relating to this assignment. The great thing about this is that any help you offer that student will also be seen by all other students. In this section, you can also post further reading or resources that you want all students to be aware of. In this example, I have posted a reading of a new Visual Studio update, and I can see that the student has read it as they have liked the post. Lastly, one great feature about the post section is the ability to praise pupils. Praising pupils can be done by clicking the New Conversation button and then clicking the Ribbon or Award button. This lets you choose an array of different praises and it also allows you to select multiple students. This praise feature works great in conjunction with the school's merit system, as it allows for all pupils in that class to see it. Let's now move on to the Files section. This section is a great place to store any class resources for the students to access. The class materials folder is a read-only and cannot be edited by pupils. That being said, please be aware that students can see the resources inside there and can download them. In this example, I have sectioned off all topics in computer science into the respective folders, which each contain the presentations that I use for that lesson. Outside the class materials folder, I have a folder called Coursework. This is a folder that is editable by the students and helps to keep their work in a central location. This is helpful when you have long projects such as programming, which do not necessarily fit the format of assignments. One issue about this is that students are able to see and edit each other's folder, but there is a good fix for this. Inside the folder, click on the button Open in SharePoint. Think of SharePoint as the engine of Microsoft Teams, whilst Teams is the pretty exterior that you can interact with. From here, you can click on the ellipses, and then click on Manage Access to change who can see the folder. From here, you can click on the pencil and remove members and visitors. This means that only owners of the Teams group will be able to see the class. However, this also means that the student cannot see the folder. So let's do one last step. Click on Share and share it with the student. Let's switch to the student's perspective. The student can only see their folder. You might notice that the test PPSG2 folder is not there. That is because I have removed the ability for the student to see and interact with that folder, following the steps I've just shown you. In doing this, you can separate students by their own editable folder, without worrying about the students copying each other's work. Now let's move on to the class notebook, and go back to the teacher's view. Think of class notebook as the student's exercise book. Once it is set up, you will see a screen like this. The button in the top left of the screen is your library, and here you can find the collaboration space, the content library, the teacher only space, and the student's exercise books. Inside the collaboration space, we can create a new section by clicking on the Add Section button. Think of sections like chapters in a book. I've already got a section here called Mind Maps. From here, students can edit the same document together, collaborating on different projects. In this example, students have collaborated together to create a mind map about the parts of a computer. You can create additional pages inside the sections by clicking on the Add Page button. Anything inside the collaboration space will be editable by all pupils. You can also lock the collaboration space from the Manage Notebook button, which we will cover shortly. The content library allows you to place read-only content that the student can copy to their own notebook. I have created 4 sections in the content library, and I can share worksheets, assessments, or even mark schemes with the students, and they can check over it in self-reflection exercises. The teacher-only section is a part of class notebook that the students do not see. You can use the space to create and edit documents without worrying about students seeing it before it is ready. Lastly, we have the student's notebook, or exercise book. When setting up class notebook, I created sections or chapters for each topic of computer science. If you have not done this, or want to add or change sections, you can click on the class notebook button. This provides tools to edit your notebook. Let's distribute a new section called Demo Example. I will click on the Distribute New section, and then I'll enter a name. Finally, I'll click on Distribute. This section will now appear in all students' exercise books. I see I've made a mistake in the name of the section. To fix this, I can click on Manage Notebooks and change the name here. Note this is an area of class notebook where you can lock collaboration space to prevent students from editing it. You can see that it has changed the section name, and it will do this for all students. I want the students to complete an assessment of one of the topics, and I have prepared a page inside the assessment section. This is a PDF that can be uploaded directly to a page. Let's look at an example of how to do that. To upload a PDF, click on Insert, File, Insert File Printout. Then just select the PDF and it will automatically insert the entire PDF. You can give the page a name by typing above the grey line. Going back to the assessment I prepared, let's distribute it. I can click on Class Notebook and then distribute the page. Note that from here, you can distribute a page to the entire class, an individual, a group, or to a class notebook in a different team group. I'll distribute the whole class by clicking on the first option. You'll be asked to select a section to distribute to. I'll pick the assessment section and then click Distribute. If I move over to the student's exercise book, you can see that the page has appeared inside the correct section. You can distribute any page created, such as this class notes page that I have created. This is a standard page that I can improve on by adding much more features. Let's take a look. You can use a tags button to set certain tags such as checkboxes. I will set the first task to be a normal checkbox for students to tick, and then the discuss checkbox for group reviews. Let's also set the key terms as important. To help students with their notes, I will also attach this lesson's presentation at the top. To do this, get your presentation file and drag it into the page. It will now appear as a downloadable button for students. Lastly, I want to add a YouTube video as a tutorial. To do this, get the link from the YouTube video you want to add in. I have this video here which supports the lesson, and paste the URL into the page. The great thing about this is that the video will appear in the page and will be playable by the pupils. Let's now look at a class notes page that I've already prepared. This notes page encompasses everything I've just spoken about, including pictures that students can annotate on using the draw feature of Class Notebook. While Class Notebook is a great tool for learning, it can be difficult to keep up with handed-in homework and grades. The solution to this is to use assignments, which we will look at next. In this section, you can create assignments for the students. You can edit the tab by clicking on the settings wheel in the corner. This will let you set the assignments to appear in the student's calendar, which will also automatically send the students an email of the assignments as well. You can create an assignment by clicking on the Create button. From here, you can enter a title and a category. I tend to set the categories as the topics for each subject. The instructions area lets you set classwork instructions, and you can attach either an existing document or a brand new document for the students to work on. Keep in mind that the students can also upload their own documents. Today we will be focusing on creating a notebook page. This lets you select a page from a notebook. In this case, I'll select the examples notes I created, and then attach a page to both the assignment and one of the sections in the student notebook. This will create a page in both the assignment and the exercise book, and can be edited on either class notebook or in this assignment. The point section allows you to set a score, or you can add a rubric. A rubric are success criteria and enable faster marking and feedback. You can see this rubric I created for the demo class, but you can create as many as you want. Lastly, you can set the date the assignment is due. But if you click on the edit button, you can also schedule the assignment to automatically appear in the future. I'll discard this assignment. Let's look at one that I have already set and one that the student has already completed. This first page lets you see which students have handed in the work, which have viewed the work, and if there are any submissions pending a revision, as with this student. If I click on the student's name, you can open up their page. Keep in mind, this is the exact same page that appears in their class notebook. You can see that I have already marked this work. I've added general feedback in the feedback area, and I've hand marked the student's work using the draw feature. You can also see that I've added a sticker to the page. To add a sticker, click on Insert and then click on Stickers. Any sticker with a pencil next to it means that you can edit the text. Let's edit the text of one sticker and insert it into the page. One really cool feature of Class Notebook is the ability to use your voice to mark. You can do this in two ways. You can use a dictate feature under the Home tab to turn your voice into text. Or you can click on the Insert tab and insert a different audio clip. This can be used if you want to give verbal feedback. You can also see that I have a rubric attached to this assignment. You can set the rubric for the students by clicking the button and selecting the level that the student is on. After marking, I could return the work to the students. However, there is an error in the last question. One useful option can be found in the drop-down menu. This button will return the assignment for revision and will alert the student that they still have work to do. Let's look at assignments from a student's perspective. As you can see, the student can see all the feedback given by me, including the rubric and the general feedback. If they click on the notes page, they can see the feedback given on their work. Let's now look at the student's class notebook. As you can see, the sticker we applied has transferred over to the page. As mentioned before, both you and the student can work and/or mark on either class notebook or the assignments. They both sync together in one page as long as you set it up from assignments. Now let's look at the other tabs we can use. The Grades tab will provide an overview of all the grades that the student has for each assignment. This can also be exported easily into Excel. In this class, I've added a useful programming playlist as a tab. You can see that it loads directly onto Teams, and this is done by clicking on the plus button in the corner. There is an array of apps you can add to your class, each different from each other. For my example, I clicked on the website button, and then I copied the link of the playlist into the URL. Teams is a fantastic resource for managing your digital class. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you have found it helpful.